Arne Slot has just finished his press conference, and here are the main talking points. Injuries as ever, so Joe Gomez is still the only player to be injured. It doesn't sound like he's going to be back in the next couple of weeks. Nunes is also suspended as he got 5 yellow cards, so he will be unavailable for this game. Other than that, everyone is available, and Slot said how happy he was that he managed to rest some key players. And also how he managed to get some minutes into the legs of some other key players. So he thought the FA Cup weekend was a total success. He was asked about Jota. He got the captain's armband after Trent went off. He said it made sense. He was a senior player, longest serving Liverpool player on the pitch as well. And he's also a great role model to a lot of the players. He was asked how we're going to try and keep him as fit as we can. He said that every player trains the same for 80%, and then he would say about 20% is based on their personal injury history. So they don't overwork certain areas of the body that maybe get injured a lot, which I found quite interesting actually. So he said hopefully that system will keep him as fit as possible for as long as possible, because we will need him going into the second half of the season. He was also asked about Wataru Endo and how integral he is to the team, and is he annoyed that he's not playing in his preferred position. He said that he is the epitome of a professional. You can bring him in on the 90th minute and ask him to run around for 3 minutes, and he will give his all for the team every single time. And he goes, and I know a lot of players who have been asked to do that and they don't give their all because they're frustrated. He said also with Endo is you can play him in any position and he will do the best he can in that position. He came up to Slot and said, I will play any minute you want me to, and I'll play any position you want me to. I just want to help the team. And he said, and that just shows you what a professional he really is. Before the FA Cup game, he had to call Harvey Elliott in, and he knew how much Elliott wanted to play in the number 10 position. But he had to tell him that he was planning on playing him more on the right-hand side of the midfield. He said, but he didn't even tell Endo he was going to play centre-back because he knew there would be no problems. He would just say, yes, boss, whatever you want. So it really shows how he is as a person. He was asked a lot about Nottingham Forest, as you'd expect. The first question was, do you see them as a Premier League threat? And he said, I always said halfway through the season, if you look at the table, you'll have a good understanding on where teams are at. And they are up there, they are competing. So our first loss to them at Anfield actually doesn't feel as bad. It still doesn't feel great, but it's not like they're in relegation and they beat us. They are competing. He said he praised Nuno for saying that, you know, the best managers manage to find a formation and a system that works for the players that they have. They have spent a lot of money, but he's done a fantastic job. He singled out Chris Wood and said how hard he works off the ball, how well he holds up the ball for their two wingers, Hudson-Odoi and Elanga. He said the first game at Anfield, they were expecting those two wingers to play, and obviously they didn't start, and they packed the midfield out, which stopped us from getting chances on their goal. We could have played better, but they did do a good job of stopping us. And then they brought on their two wingers at the end, who obviously got the goal. Hudson-Odoi got a good goal, didn't he? So they're not sure if that's the same tactic they're going to use, but Elanga and Hudson-Odoi have had some really good games since then, so he expects them to play, but he has had to go through the system with the team for both options, if they play or not, just in case. But he expects them to work really, really hard. He was then asked, Nottingham Forest have had 5 clean sheets in a row now, apparently. How are we going to get around that? And he then again said about how hard they work, but we just need to work harder, and we need to be better at creating chances. He said we've actually let in less goals than they have this season, so you know it works both ways. If we play well, they won't get goals either. And we are prepared, or we think we are prepared for every eventuality. So let's hope it'll be a tough game, but we're hoping to get some points on this one. Obviously, if they win, they come within 3 points of us. We do have that game in hand still, but they are having a hell of a season. It's got to be said. So yeah, there was talk of the youth and how important it was that they got some minutes, but there was no talk of any of them maybe starting anytime soon. I think it was they'll be important going forward. It's nice to have them training with us. It brings a lot of positivity. But there was no talk of them, they're going to start playing loads. There was no talk of the contracts. There was no talk of transfers. So yeah, I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I really do. I'm really excited about this game, but I am actually quite confident. I think now we know what they're capable of. it makes me think back to the City, to the Real Madrid, to the Bayer Leverkusen games where we knew we needed to play well, and we just did. I think the United and the Spurs game were like, well, we've just beaten them 6-3, so they were a bit more relaxed. And United, well, they're in the worst form they've been in the season, so they were a bit more relaxed. They know what they're coming into in this game, and I think we'll have enough, and I think we will win. Let me know what you think. Please repost, please like. And if you haven't already, thanks for those who have, but I have started a new football page where I talk more about football in general. I'll tag it down below. Please give it a like and a follow. Come on, you Reds.